The news day continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. S&P Global slashes its growth forecast for the year, citing the impact of inflation spikes and monetary tightening. The S&P Global Ratings expects the economy to expand by just 5.2%, lower than its initial 5.9% forecast in June. This also falls below government's target range of 6 to 7%, and is much slower than the 7.6% GDP expansion last year. Despite this, the credit rater says its growth outlook remains, quote, broadly favorable. The S&P's lower forecast follows the country's weaker than expected GDP in the second quarter, which grew by only 4.3%. Aside from the Philippines, S&P also lowered growth projections for Singapore, Hong Kong, Thailand, and Vietnam. Meanwhile, prices of raw goods have gone up in one market in Mandaluyong. Per kilo, prices of fish products have increased by more than 20 pesos. Galunggong now costs 200 pesos a kilo from 160. Crowd favorites bangus, pusit, and hipon have their per kilo prices increased by at least 20 pesos. Meanwhile, prices of some vegetables have also climbed by up to 20 pesos a kilo. These include eggplant, which now costs at least 180 pesos per kilo from only 130 pesos per kilo. Potatoes and squash prices are also 20 pesos higher from previous prices. Despite this, there's still good news, as some prices of vegetables have gone down due as supplies remain sufficient. Sibuyas, ampalaya, and kamatis have their prices slashed by almost 50 pesos per kilo. Meanwhile, prices of egg have increased by at least 50 centavos a piece. The price increases were attributed to the limited supply of raw goods, as well as the series of oil price hikes in the previous weeks. As for rice prices, varieties not included under the price cap are reaching the 65 peso level. Only regular milled and well-milled rice are included in the price ceiling. Agricultural groups renew calls for President Bongbong Marcos to not sign the order reducing tariffs on rice, pork, corn, and chicken. The groups appeal to the president to reject the executive order that they say is being hatched by Finance Chief Ben Jokno and Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Arsenio Balisacan. In a joint statement, the Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura said that eliminating tariffs is tantamount to legalizing smuggling. SINAG Chairman Rosendo So also maintains that the president himself has said there is no rice shortage in the country. Therefore, there is no basis to flood the market with imports. Among the 26 signatories of the joint statement are Bantay Bigas, Federation of Free Farmers, and the Kilosang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas. Let's hear more about their appeal. We have with us via Zoom SINAG Chairperson Rosendo So. Thank you for joining us, sir. Good morning.
Good morning, Diego. Magandang umaga.
Yes, sir. We understand you're currently in a rally. Is this in connection to your appeal?
Yes, ang kasama ho natin ngayon isa yung Northern Luzon mga farmers and Central Luzon and Southern Luzon. Around 2,500 farmers ang dumating para ma-oppose itong pagbaba ng taripa. No? The hog raiser also joined us, and of course the chicken group, and of course our farmers from rice and corn.
Okay, sinabi niyo po, sir, na ang rally niyo is because sa pagbaba ng mga tariff. And you said in a statement that eliminating the tariff is simply legalizing smuggling. Pakipaliwanag po.
Yeah, kasi yung yung tariff, no, kung itatanggal natin yung 35%, magiging zero 'yan. Parang smuggle na papasok na 'yan, no? Wala nang taripa na in which hindi na makakakolekta yung government para sa ating mga magsasaka. Yung 35 to 10% lang ang mawawala sa atin na RTL, yung Rice Tarification Law, na kinokolekta yan para sa ating mga magsasaka, is almost 33.5 billion for next year. So yung bibigay natin na binhi, yung bibigay natin na cash na 5,000 and yung bibigay natin na other subsidy sa mga magsasaka, mawawala yan in which apektado yung mga farmers natin na magtatanim dito
Okay.
sa ating bansa. Baka hindi na sila magtanim.
Eh, sir, mataas pa rin po ang presyo ng bigas na hindi po sakop ng price cap. Bakit kaya po ito? At sabi niyo po sa statement, maganda rin ang farm gate price. So, what's driving the prices up?
Kaya yung imported kasi, kung makita natin, well, hindi kasama sa cap yun, no? Yung pinapasok ng imported rice.
Mhm.
So, mas nga ng presyo, pwede nilang itaas yan. And kung bibigyan pa natin ng insentibo na ibaba yung taripa,
Mhm.
wala ring kwenta kasi ibebenta naman nila yung premium rice sa higher price,
Okay.
no? So wala tayong nakita is kung makakatulong yan sa ating government kung i-chop yung i-cut yung ano no, yung 35% to 10%
Mhm.
dahil yung price naman na benta nila is pataas pa rin. Yun ang
Yes.
sinasabi natin.
And sir, it's not only the rice industry. Tariff cuts are also proposed on other agri-industries. Ano po ba ang narinig niyo mula sa ibang signatories dito sa appeal?
Yeah, yung sa pork at chicken kasi ano mag-e-end ng tsaka yung corn no, mag-e-end ng December. Baka mamaya kung wala na naman session ang ating mga kongreso, i-extend na naman ng economic team yung
Mhm.
tariff. So ang dapat huwag nang i-extend ulit no kasi ang nawala sa collection ng port last year is around 16.5 to 18 bilyones ang nawala.
Mhm.
Kung this year ma-extend na naman yan by next year, mawawala naman yung taripa and may ginagawang batas tayo ngayon na yung collection of tariff mapupunta sa sector ng hog industry, mawawala yun pagka ganon.
Yes, sir. Kanina sa isang report namin, hindi ko po alam kung narinig nyo, may sa isang market po, which kindly reflects the prices in other markets, tumaas po ang presyo ng ibang commodity, mga samples ng mga isda, few of the vegetables. What do you think is also driving these prices up?
Yeah, yung isda, of course, yung fuel, no? Ang laki ng tinaas ng fuel na for the past month. So, yung mga isda talaga is pagpupunta sa laot, kailangan ng fuel papunta doon. So, tumaas talaga yung cost ng
Okay.
paghuli nila. So, yun ang malaking problema. And of course, yung mga pagtanim, no? Lahat yan need fuel. So, itong turnaround ng gulay, kung makikita natin, mabilis kasi yan. It will take mga 30 to 45 days, umaani na sila. So,
Okay.
very ang malaking effect nito is yung fuel price.
So with the fuel price driving up the prices of these commodities mentioned, then is it not already high time po na magkaroon ng tariff cuts on these items mentioned?
Yung gulay kasi wala tayong pinapasok na gulay, no? So, ang may tariff cut is yung corn, no?
Okay.
Sa yung corn na in which yung magsasaka natin, of course, apektado kung i-continuous yung tariff cut ng corn kasi yung world market price ng corn medyo bumaba na. No?
Okay.
So, maapektuhan yung local farmers natin.
Okay. Finance Chief Jokno has earlier dismissed your calls po for his resignation. Do you think walang kinalaman ang Pangulo sa proposal na ito na nila Jokno at Secretary Balisacan, given that he's also the Agri-Chief right now?
Yeah, Checo, kung makita mo yung announcement niya from Singapore, from just recently yung announcement niya na wala tayong kakulangan sa production ng
Mhm.
bigas. And ang anihan, malapit na, tuloy-tuloy itong October, maganda yung aanhin natin. And we see mas malaki ang production natin this year. And nakita natin na talagang nainganyo ang mga magsasaka natin na magtanim. Kung ito is ibaba yung taripa, baka madismaya yung mga magsasaka, hindi yung magtanim. Kaya kanina, pumunta sila sa DOF at sinasabi na dapat huwag ibaba yung taripa. Kung
Okay.
hindi, sipain na sila palabas ng ating presidente. At ang maganda doon, at least yung ang ating senadora, si Senator Amy Marcos, dumating doon sa okasyon.
You also mentioned, sir, that you want some congressmen and senators na pag-explain si Secretary Jokno and Balisacan. But have you spoken to these lawmakers about this appeal?
Yeah, we talked with Amy kanina, no? Senator Amy, and ang sinabi nga niya, she don't think na no, susundan ng kapatid niya ang economic team kasi
Okay.
ang direction ng mga kapatid niya is to produce more dito sa ating bansa. Kung ito is ibababa yung taripa, makaapekto sa pagtanim dito sa ating bansa. Kung makita natin is yung produce natin ngayon, puwapantay na tayo sa Thailand. And gusto pang itaas ng Thailand tsaka ang Vietnam ang presyo nila.
Yes.
So kung madismaya itong mga magsasaka, kung hindi tayo magtanim, mag-import tayo, problema tayo kung dependent tayo sa import.
Well, thank you very much, sir, for your insights. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. SINAG Chairperson Rosendo So, good morning, sir.
Yeah, magandang umaga.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Earlier today, the lower house has approved on third and final reading the bill that seeks to revise the pension system for military and uniformed personnel, or MUPs. A total of 272 House lawmakers voted in favor of the bill. 4 representatives voted against and 1 abstained. Under the latest version, only new entrants are required to contribute 9% of their monthly salary to the fund. The proposed law creates two MUP trust funds, one for the AFP and another for uniformed personnel, both of which will be managed by the GSIS. It also created a trust fund committee to be administered by the Finance Secretary. The national government will likewise contribute 12% to the fund, and sources are government savings, unprogrammed appropriations in the annual national budget, proceeds from lease, joint development, and disposition of government properties. Their proposal also provides for a guaranteed 3% annual salary increase for MUPs for the first 10 years from the time that the proposed law takes effect. The mandatory retirement age under the bill is at 57 years old or upon accumulation of 30 years of active service, whichever comes later. House Speaker Martin Romualdez, who sponsored the bill, says the reform not only prioritizes the well-being of MUPs, but also ensures the country's economic stability. He adds that it's a testament to the House's commitment to national security and fiscal responsibility. With the House's approval, the ball is now in the Senate's court. The House minority questions the passage of the fiscal regime for the mining industry in the wee hours of the morning. The lower chamber approved on third and final reading House Bill 8937 with 272 lawmakers voting in favor of the measure, 4 against it, while 1 other abstained. The bill aims to implement margin-based royalty and windfall profit tax on mining companies. The minority bloc says, though, that it is not a good look for those to be voting on a bill as important as the mining fiscal regime in the middle of the night. Minority lawmakers also questioned why the House allowed nominal voting via hybrid, which lets lawmakers who are not in plenary to send in their votes.
Hindi po maganda sa mata ng taong bayan na tayo ay nagpapasa, nagsisingit ng isang napakahalagang bill sa gitna ng ganitong oras ng gabi, 12:24 a.m. Sabi nga doon sa rules natin, hindi naman calamity, hindi naman ganyan eh. Saka we are doing away with the electronic voting na. Bakit ngayon ganito pa ulit?
Nasa 25 na lang po tayo sa loob ng session hall na ito habang nag-explain tayo ng boto para ipaliwanag bakit merong mga pagkukulang ang panukalang batas na ito. Hindi nasusolusyonan ng panukalang batas ang malalim na problema ng mining industry sa kasalukuyan na nakakiling sa extraction at paglalabas sa bansa ng ating mga mineral.
And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News. We throw you back now to Congress, where a hearing is ongoing on the General Appropriations Bill for 2024.